Hey everyone, and welcome to my bathroom cleaning video. So, I think this video kind of encapsulates my sense of feeling really rushed. The day that I filmed this and the day after that I'm recording this, because the end of school is coming up for my daughter. So, I just feel very rushed and pressured to basically get everything done that I can while I have as much uninterrupted quiet time as possible. And I am really big on having uninterrupted quiet time. It is something so precious and valuable that I think everyone, hopefully even extroverts, but definitely introverts, can appreciate. So this is just a nice, quick clean, under 20 minutes when it's sped up here. But it took me about an hour, almost an hour, and I was trying to get through this as quick as I could because I had an appointment to get to, and I was just trying to, make sure I got something recorded while I still easily could. So this is the bathroom that my daughter typically uses. It's also the guest bathroom. We only have 2 bathrooms in the house. And I always start from top to bottom, so I'm just starting with the mirror here. And I'm also going to get the shower all nice and clean. You can see her unicorn soap dispenser there. So I've got that stuff on the door. Well, me and she have that stuff on the door. Me and her. I don't know. I'm too tired to grammar right now. Anyway, so I put a sign up there in pink. It says, is the shower fully off? Because sometimes it's hard to push it in all the way, and that's just a little reminder for whoever's using that shower, usually her, to make sure they push that knob in all the way so that the shower clicks off, because we don't want to be wasting water and wasting money. And then she decided to put up a stop and go sign on the door. I don't know, that's just her thinking she would prefer to have a stop and go to show when someone is using that bathroom. However, I don't think it gets used very often by people. And yeah, they just, either lock the door or close the door. And then when it's not in use, we usually keep the door open to make sure the airflow and smell is kept at a good rate. Good smell. However you say that. I'm so tired today. That's why I'm talking weird. And I'm also just feeling really pressured, because there's just so much that I want to do, and it's impossible to fit that into the limited time that I have. I actually started writing for the Transformers Big Bang, writing a fanfic for that. It's a commitment to write 10,000 words of a Transformers fanfic, and yeah, I'm really excited for that. I've got about a quarter of it written already. It's not due till September. That is my DIY toilet bowl cleaner. It's just baking soda, I think, and citric acid. And I talked a little bit about it before, but it gets the toilet a good clean. When I first made it, it was a lot more fizzy in the toilet, but it worked just fine, and I got it in there. And you'll see me be away for a little bit because I had to cram some food down my throat to get ready in time for my appointment. I didn't want to be hungry. So I made some of those spicy chicken finger fry things. And they're only a couple hundred calories for 5 of them. So that is sometimes what I have for a meal. I'm sure it's very appetizing to see the food and then to see a toilet. Anyway, moving on. I'll be back in just a minute in the video or so, and get that finished scrubbing up. My excuse here was that I was letting the counter dry after I wiped it down really well. And I don't know if you saw that black bowl I was using earlier on the sink. That was actually sitting around since my mother-in-law's visit, because she used this vinegar water to clean out the Keurig that we never use except for when she's here. And yeah, we didn't want to just have that vinegar water go to waste, so I was like, okay, I'll just use it when I clean the sink. So it worked out. Anyway, the counter is drying after I wiped it so that I can put the stuff back on without it, like festering under there. What's the right word for that? Not festering, but yeah, so it doesn't just like sit under the stuff that I put back up on there. All right, back to work. I ate super fast and surprisingly did not burn my mouth because those came fresh out of the toaster. So, but besides feeling really pressured to get a lot of stuff done, like recording these videos and doing stuff for my business each day, trying to do some sort of physical activity every day, writing for the Big Bang, I'm feeling pretty excited for summer. I'm hoping that I can be really productive. And you know what? I also decided here that I wanted to talk to my aunt on the phone while I cleaned, so that it would be a little bit less boring. So it did slow my cleaning a little bit because I only had one hand, but it was definitely worth it because sometimes it's just really boring to clean and you just want someone to talk to. I definitely prefer cleaning like with someone there. And I think that's also what I like about, I would love to go over to somebody else's house and clean their house if they were there, with me, just talking. I don't know if that's, a common thing, but to just, have someone, to have that social interaction, but also be doing something productive and helpful for them, or even for your own house. It just feels, I don't know. Feels like it's getting two needs met at once. And I am so obsessed with efficiency, which I guess is weird to a lot of people. I don't think I've met a lot of people that are constantly thinking about efficiency. And maybe it's a, whatever I am, the INTJ thing. But anything I can do that accomplishes multiple things at once, I'm like, yes. That's great. I love that. And I try to maximize my efficiency with most of my actions. And it's something I think about a lot. I don't know. There isn't a lot I do that I don't overthink or think through of how can I put this towel on the rack in the way that it's going to be the most efficient? Even just little stuff like that. I want it in the position that's going to be the most efficient for me to grab and put back and for it to dry in a timely manner. I don't know. How weird is that I think about that kind of stuff? Is it just me? Do other people spend their time thinking about every little action throughout the day? Is that something that contributes to my constant anxiety? Who knows? And anxiety is not always a bad thing, There's a lot it does for me in helping me mentally prepare. It's just when it gets out of control that it becomes a problem and when it's affecting the quality of your life. But I find that having a positive, healthy relationship with the anxiety that comes and goes, I joke that it's constant, and it definitely used to be, but it's more mellowed out and less intense these days. Been a really long time since I had a panic attack, which is really nice, years. But yeah, I just find that being in tune with your emotions and being accepting of the ebb and flow really helps me deal with them more easily, because then they don't control me. It's just okay, there's a feeling, I'm having a feeling, and that is okay. You can see me here trying to figure out what to do about all the light that's streaming in and messing with the view, but I figure my body blocks enough that you can at least see what I'm doing. So I'm getting the tile up top first, and then I'll get the tile on the sides of the shower. I was reading a post today that really stuck out to me that was saying how trauma survivors are often less not so stressed in crisis situations because that's the norm sometimes for some trauma survivors. And so they're so used to dealing with that that those are actually less stressful than, you know, other situations that other people would typically consider non-stressful. And I just really connected with that. I've been told that, like, when I'm in a crisis situation, that I kind of weirdly, like, calm down, which is, I don't know, it's bizarre. It's like I start thinking, like, focusing on what it is I need to do to help that immediate crisis. Like, I don't know, I guess I'm just wired for it, and part of that is maybe that there's been, like, so much anxiety in my day-to-day life that I've been, preparing for all the worst that I can, like what I would do. And in that way, I think the anxiety that I'm grateful for having it, and it's useful to me in that way. Because I know before I had some of that anxiety, I might have been more, like, gullible and naive and not necessarily preparing for things. But also, I've just been through, like, so much trauma in my life. Like, I don't know. It's wired into my brain in a certain way that, hey, I know how to deal with this, with feeling this overwhelming feeling. And I think the key is that I've recovered from it, because it doesn't put me back into the traumatized state necessarily when I go into crisis mode and am reminded of it. And because I've done that healing, I think there's an element of, like, okay, I can deal with this. I can do it. I don't know. Does that make sense? But, like, people have commented on it before. Like, I remember my dad saying, like, whoa, you got, like, really calm during this crisis situation. And that reminds me of my dad, which would be my grandfather. And that was kind of an interesting statement to be compared to him. Makes me wonder, what happened in my grandfather's life. Because he died when I was pretty young, so I didn't really know him very well for that grandfather. I don't know. Anybody else experience that, deal with that? I find, like, I can find people online sometimes that connect with these things with me, but it tends to be hard to find people in real life that connect with me on certain things. I guess because there's so much, there's so many more people to select from when you're online, and then in real life, there's less of a group to choose from and to see, if those things connect. And also, people tend to be less honest in person, I find. Like, I'm switching the camera angle up. But yeah, I think in person, without that anonymity, it's harder to be honest because there's more room for judgment. Not that there's no judgment online. Unfortunately, there's a lot of judgment online. But I think it's easier when it's like those people don't know you personally and can't necessarily retaliate, although there's always the chance, but can't necessarily retaliate against you in person. At least not as easily, hopefully. Whereas, like, when it's someone you personally know, it feels riskier to jeopardize those relationships that are important to you. Whenever I wipe that shower rod curtain, it comes up, like, absolutely black on that paper towel, which is so bizarre to me. Like, how does it get so dirty up there? What is causing it to just get like that? I don't know. It makes me glad that I clean it regularly. But I decided to work on the guest bathroom instead of going toward the bonus room that I was thinking about filming. Just because it really needed it. It had been a few weeks since I cleaned the bathroom. I try to do it more regularly, but I don't always get to. Anyway, so here I'm like, oh no, it's almost time for my appointment. I better rush. I'm going to wipe as fast as I can. And then I'm like, oh, and I still have the floor. But hey, we get it done. I get it done. I am committed to getting this done, and I work hard at it. And I still make my appointment on time, so that's the important thing. But yeah, I don't know, just some things that I'm thinking about today. What are you guys thinking about today? Drop me a comment below. Sometimes it's nice to just put on a cleaning video and get that something going on the background, motivate you to get your cleaning done. Pass the time while you're cleaning, have that kind of social interaction. Like if I can't talk to someone, because nobody wants to come clean with me, unfortunately, or for me to come clean with them. So if I can't get that social interaction, my aunt was only able to talk for a little bit, then it helps to have on a cleaning video, for me at least. And just have someone like there with me, it feels like almost. Even though I know it's obviously just a video. But we all gotta find ways to fulfill those social needs and connect with each other. And actually putting a little bit of that in my fanfic right now. I'm writing about Shockwave and his rejection of needing social bonds and how that's affected him and how he can maybe have a social bond with somebody in that story. Which, yeah, if you know my hopes on that, I would love Shockwave and Cosmos together. I think they're a really interesting dynamic, so I like to write about them. But I will probably never link my fanfics to anyone I know personally, so that's too bad, I guess. But anyway, I am so thrilled that I got this done. I was worried I wouldn't have time to get it done yesterday. Oh, and then I remember at the last moment, I better organize this closet really quick. This cabinet really quick. Because it's a mess in there. And it's not too bad. And I find the painting or the photograph in there that a family member took. And I'm like, I forgot I was going to hang that up in the bathroom too. I've been meaning to hang that up for years. And then I found it when I was cleaning out the china cabinet in the other video. That's my daughter's nail polish. It used to all be mine. I passed it on to her. Sometimes I still like to paint my nails. Anyway, so I finally get that photograph hanging up somewhere, and I chose the bathroom for it. It just looks nice. So maybe I'll post a picture of that later. So it's looking all nice in there, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And thank you guys for joining me today. And I will see you next time.